A huge day for President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect Mike Pence, attending their first public events together since winning the White House more than 3 weeks ago. In 2 hours, they will kick off their nationwide thank you tour in Ohio, a key swing state that helped them pull off the remarkable victory. Fox's John Roberts is live in Cincinnati, where the rally will be held tonight. So, John, I understand you also have some news on Mr. Trump's cabinet.
I got to run, Jason.
Maybe he's getting some
just checking with
breaking
my
news.
Sources here. The breaking news is that earlier today we reported that General James Mad Dog Mattis, the former commander of the Central Command, took over for David Petraeus, was Donald Trump's top contender for Secretary of Defense, but I was told that it was not 100%, and the reason why it was not 100% was because, of course, anything can go wrong in a presidential transition, and B, because U.S. law states that a person cannot take over a civilian position at the Pentagon within 7 years of retiring from the military. Mattis retired from the military back in 2013 and would require a special congressional waiver from both the House and the Senate, and that the reason it's not 100% is because that waiver has not yet been drafted, and of course things can go off the rails, so there's a couple of smaller alternatives who are under consideration just in case things went off the rails with Mattis. So I was just confirming with a Trump source on that, and it seems to remain where it is right now. There's some news organizations who are saying it's a done deal. I was told earlier today, and being told again, treat that very cautiously, because while Donald Trump does really like General James Mattis, would like him to be his Secretary of Defense, it's not yet 100% a done deal. Now, on the Secretary of State angle, we're told yesterday that there were 4 contenders for Secretary of State. 2 of them were named, Romney and Giuliani. Some of the others that have been out there were Corker, General David Petraeus. He's also meeting tomorrow with John Bolton, the former UN ambassador, about the position. I'm told by some people, though, that Bolton might be a better fit for the number 2 position at state, and that is the Deputy Secretary. Still a very powerful position, but whether or not he got that job would depend on who gets the top job. Now, Donald Trump will be here in Cincinnati in a little while, 7 o'clock tonight. He's got a very big rally at the U.S. Bank Arena. I'll back up just a little so you can see some of the folks who were gathered here. He won the state of Ohio 52 to 43% over Hillary Clinton. Interesting that he did not win Hamilton County, though, which is where Cincinnati is located. But when I was here back at the beginning of October, he put about 16,000 people into the arena. Tonight, he's expected to pack it to the rafters. It holds 17,559 people. You get some more on the floor, so there could be in excess of 18,000 people here tonight as Donald Trump begins his victory tour. First time he's really been out at any kind of an event like this since being elected president back on the 8th. Back to you folks.
All right, thank you so much, John, for that update, and identify your source. Nah, just kidding. Okay, always getting the good information up to the last second right before the show. So, Eric, what do you make of this announcement that was sort of put out there, but then a little bit of a walk back saying not just yet? We saw that with Elaine, by the way, and then she got the nod.
Yeah, so they're going to take their time. They're going to create mystery and intrigue around the picks. I think they're, again, though, I will tell you it's running very smoothly, and the pace is brisk. They're ahead of schedule versus other administrations. Don't forget, he's got a big task. He's coming in after 8 years of Obama. He's making a lot of changes, and he's not tapping from the normal pool of would-be candidates. He said he's going to, he wants to drain the swamp as best he can. Some say he's not draining it fast enough or well enough, but so he has to, his pool of potential candidates, I think, is far smaller than anyone else would have been, either Hillary Clinton or another Republican. Very quickly, on this tour, he starts in Ohio. They're saying it's more logistics than symbolic, and that's because of the Carrier tour. He went to the Carrier plant in Indiana, very close to Ohio. You start there, and the tour is going to be Ohio, North Carolina, Iowa, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Florida, all the very important swing states that he won. I just love this idea. I'm looking forward to it. And it's, again, this is going to be spread out over the next couple of weeks.
Dana, what do you make of this rollout? Do you think it's, well advised? It's a good idea to get out there, thank the supporters?
Well, yeah, I mean, we kind of gave President Obama a hard time for the permanent campaign, but it worked for President Obama, and he won re-election. And I think for this, I think it makes sense. I admire it. I've said that I feel like I worked in the Victorian age of politics. Like, everything has changed, and I can take the corset off now, I guess.
Not here.
Not on live TV.
I read somewhere.
I'll wear it.
I read somewhere where
you could use it.
One of the undecided voters that made up his mind in the last week said that it just felt good to be understood and that they liked going to the last rally that he was able to attend, and that he said it felt like being in high school and that it was really fun. So if people want to lighten up a little bit and have a good time and enjoy this transition period, because transition periods are usually fun. Governing is not necessarily that fun.
Exactly. And
but the transition period, it can be a good time.
And you said the other day on the air, I think during 2 o'clock, you're like, good government sometimes is often boring. When things are going that well.
Good government's boring.
It
should be. We should want our government to be boring.
All right, see, I've got my VP quotables. All right, Greg, nothing boring with you.
I'm not sure if this is a victory tour or a thank you tour. I keep hearing one or the other.
Can it be both?
Well, if it's a thank you, then he should go to James Comey's house. If it's a victory, he should go to John Kasich's and egg his house. So that's what you got. It's a struggle. But in a weird way, when I think about this, and when I think about the large crowds over the primary season and everything, it kind of to me was a logical evolution of the Tea Party events, in which Andrew Breitbart would show up, and there'd be thousands of people, and it'd be this energy. And they're kind of similar in the sense that they represented emotional release from a suffocating culture that spent 8 years or even longer, perhaps decades, mocking you for your beliefs. So these things are kind of like they're less political than they are festive. And I think Donald Trump fell in love with the applause and the idea. This is something. He's like I've said it before. He's like a classic rock band. And he gets out there, and they want to hear the hits, and he'll do Build the Wall. He can't do Lock Her Up anymore.
No,
he can't do that one. He can do Drain the Swamp, but I think I realized the swamp is now Fox News or Goldman Sachs, because that's where we're both being drained by him.
But everybody loves swamp people.
Hey, it's a great time in the swamp.
It's a great time in
a corset.
Festive, yes, it comes in handy. All right, so Juan, what do you make of this? I think it's kind of a nice thing to go out and say thank you and have whether you want to call it a thank you tour or a victory tour, but get back out and be like, listen, I didn't just come in front of you to get your vote. I want to say thank you, and I'm going to continue to earn your support.
Well, you know, I mean, Dana says she's Victorian. I just feel like an old-timer, because normally the president-elect, not only would he have some kind of structure and, you know, we would know exactly how he's going about picking a cabinet, but here we don't know, and it looks like, you know, is he watching TV? Is he picking these people from where? We don't know. A lot of conservatives, I'll say that, but a lot of them you just think, wow, I mean, definitely not drain the swamp. When I look at people like Ross, Mnuchin, even General Mattis that we're talking about today, I see these people have been on the scene. I mean, and talk about anti-Wall Street. I don't see how you're anti-Wall Street with Ross and Mnuchin. That looks like, you know, Goldman Sachs to the max, right? So, but I don't get that. But I do have questions about going out on this kind of very showman-like tour, because there's no press conference, there's no explanation in general. And I just wonder, you know, as Greg was saying, he can't say lock her up. I guess he can say build a wall. But what is he going to say? I would hope, and you know, in praying for his success, that he would say, I'm here to unify the country.
Yes, the unity is the important part.
Yeah, and I'm here to build support for my policies, and here are my policies. Now, if he's going about celebrating the carrier thing again, today's paper's just overflowing with, hey, guess what? This is not free market.
It's a Bibla.
You know, I mean, it's unbelievable.
All right, Juan, before you jump the shark, we're going to do that in the next block. But so let's talk about just communications, you know, and the messaging here. What should he say to these supporters?
Well, I think he will thank them for coming out, for recognizing that he was a different kind of politician, and he will probably talk about his cabinet pick. I actually think that the process has actually been more transparent than before. I don't ever remember before C-SPAN setting up a camera to watch people coming in. So you actually know who is going in and out.
You're a naked cowboy. Talk about transparent.
I mean, very.
You can see everything.
Obviously. No corset there.
No.
Not at all.
And tidy whities.
It will be interesting to see what he says about unifying the country. Obviously, you're going to be in a crowd of possibly 18,000 people. They adore you. That's great. But there's a whole bunch of people who still are reeling from the election. How does he reach out to them? Does he have to? No. But I think that he probably will in some way. You'll see some sort of outreach in
No, I think it's important
language.
for him to reach out to people who are not supporters. And what we've seen in the last few weeks, actually, is his favorable numbers have gone up.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is that he doesn't feel like he has to.
No, but I think he has to, because as president, as president-elect and in the future as president, I think it's important to say to all Americans, I'm for you. The problem with this is these are all Trump supporters.
Yeah, but
there's
this is
people
what
watching.
this is. You see what it is on the bottom banner?
Yeah.
Trump's thank you tour begins. He's going to go around the country and say, my guess is he's going to be, you've been flyover country for too long. Your voice was heard. We're doing something different.
That's grievance politics.
And he's going to try and muster up support for his policy initiative.
No, I agree with
which
you.
I think is very, very smart.
If he's that,
as far
if
as
he
the
does
olive,
that, wait, hold on. So that's grievance. That's grievance politics.
Fine. My point is that there's plenty of time. There's at least 4, maybe 8 years to reach across the aisle, offer the olive branch and say, yes, let's unite the country on both sides. And some of the things, frankly, that he's proposing,
I just hope
Democrats will like more than Republicans.
He might be presidential. At some point, he's got to go from the candidate to acting serious.
I think you could be both. I think that he has to talk unity because I'm going to enter the hypocritical world that no one cares about. But if Obama had done a victory lap, this network would explode. We would be frothing. We'd have pitchforks running down Pennsylvania Avenue. So but I realized,
did he have something like that?
No, for 8 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we gave him a hard time for the permanent campaign.
No, that was that was after he became president.
I know.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it after
the unity thing. He's fine.
He showed up at the Roman Coliseum, basically saying, "I'm the emperor."
He had with the little thing around his head.
He lived a permanent victory lap. He was. You're right. He was an 8-year victory lap.
Oh, it sounds like we're going to miss President Obama. Right?
Oh, he's not going anywhere.
Oh my God.
All right, at a golf course near you.